Hello,
my ACCA students and future ACCA aspirants. Myself, Palak Rana. I am an ACCA member and ACCA tutor. So, today again we have our special guest who need no introduction, who supported us and ACCA fraternity over a last around 6 to 7 years. Welcome to Param Wilku.
thanks, Palak, for having me again on your channel. It's always great to help out students via this medium. So happy to have a conversation today.
Yeah, thank you, Param, for giving us your time. And you have been supported ACCA community over last, 4 to 5 years. And I have been following you and I'm being inspired by you. And today you gave us time and you gave us chance to make people aware about ACCA. And today's topic is very special for our ACCA family. So, guys, if you have not followed Param yet, I am attaching the link over here. Do follow his YouTube channel, subscribe him, like his videos, and comment on his videos. And I'm also attaching the link of his LinkedIn profile. So don't forget to follow him because he shares lot of information, lot of data regarding ACCA and updates regarding ACCA. So Param, in our last session regarding ACCA, you helped a lot our ACCA family. So if we need today again some sort of information to our ACCA family out there. So the first information and guys, today topic is very interesting regarding ACCA job opportunities, CV making. So you can get your information and keep yourself updated regarding the job opportunities with this video. So don't forget to watch the video till end. So Param, I would like to know that how you get your first job, as we know that you are in Big Four. So how you get your first job with the help of ACCA?
So yeah, ACCA has changed my life, I would say, right? I've shared my journey in my previous videos, which you can check out. But specifically, coming back to your question, on my first job, I had my first job in London. That was like a 9 month stint before my visa got over and I had to come back. It was a mid-tier firm in North London. As soon as I finished my ACCA qualification, I had approached a few firms. This firm was very kind enough to take me in basis on the qualification I had, basis on my past experience. So I spent a good amount of 9 months. But on returning back to India, the actual it's a big game started over here, right? When I came back to India, the first question was, am I making the right choice of moving back? That was my first doubt in my mind, because again, there were apprehensions that will ACCAs will have that kind of scope which I have experienced back in Europe during my stint of my ACCA and my MBA, right? But luckily, I made that decision. I had approached a lot of people on LinkedIn. One of them, she was kind enough to refer me. In my current Big Four, I've been working for this global arm of Big Four since past 8 years. I'm an audit senior manager now. I can recall I got this referral via this person who was very kind enough to reply back to my message. That is one quality I have taken personally as well. I am very active on LinkedIn. People who have approached me on job for job opportunities and stuff, I have really tried to do my best, because I've gone through that phase myself. People do not respond to your messages. It's very difficult that you apply on so many portals and you're not receiving a reply. So I've gone through that phase. So till date, I try my best. I got the referral. I had an interview set up in Bombay. I went through the specific rounds, and luckily I was able to crack the interview. Going back to the interview itself, it was a great experience. Big Four interviews are not easy, number one, but they actually make you realize where you are. I still remember HR round was pretty smooth. The aptitude test I went through was pretty good as well. But when the actual technical round came in, that I had sweat all over, like the questions which were coming through. But all I can share with my experiences, you need to tell your story. You need to be very honest in your interviews. Whatever is there on your CV, you have to make sure that you know by heart that, okay, if I have mentioned something on my CV, you should be aware of that, right? Many people bluff quite a lot.
Yeah.
So that interview had a very long lasting impact. And luckily I got selected basis on my say the interview which I gave. So it's not easy to get into a Big Four, but we'll share in this video how you can get into a Big Four or any other organizations.
Yeah.
It's not only one route you need to take. It's not an easy game, I would say.
Yeah. That happened with me also, and I personally knew you from couple of years. And guys, Param has supported my students also. He has referred my student also. So in case any student want referral, you can directly contact me or Param. He is always helpful, whether you are in its connection or not, whether you have been talking to him or not. He has helped every time. So, Param, can you please share a few questions which were being asked when you entered into the interview session?
Yep. I've taken interviews myself as well now, right? So I do take interviews.
Yeah,
I can share my experience. How one needs to prepare is very important. Number one, the interviewer will ask you questions which are related to the job profile. So that is the first step one should take, right? You should definitely go through the job profile 5 or 6 times before you go for the interview, right? Until and unless you understand what the requirement is, what the position is all about. Many people do this mistake of not going through the job profile. They just go. You have to do the preparation in a very structured manner. So I made sure that when I gave my interview, I understood what the job profile requires. And say my introduction, if I'm giving, right, if a job profile is asking for ABC, in my introduction, I made sure I covered those ABC points so that the interviewer also assesses that he's prepared. He knows the job description, job profile, what the job actually demands, right? Number two, your CV is your first impression on the interview. So make sure your CV is really up to date. There is no false information in that. I have interviewed many candidates and on various occasions. I found out that they would say mention that I am an IFRS expert. When you come from an ACCA background or a CPA, that US GAAP, you're an expert in that. But when you actually start asking questions relevant to IFRS or any other topic which is mentioned on the CV, that time you realize that person doesn't know much about this, even though you have studied that qualification. So that is a complete big no. Only mention things which are relevant, which you actually know about as well, right? And if you mention something, make sure you revise that topic before the interview well in advance. Number three, it's all about the experience you want to share with the interviewer, right? Trust me, many of the interviewers I know and myself, I have this habit of going through the CV right before we take the interview, right? Sometimes it's a busy schedule for everyone, right? So we get very less time to assess the interviews. So we skim through the CV very, very quickly. We pick up the key pointers. We draft the questions according to that, right? So CV is your first impression. What I strongly suggest to everyone who is in touch with me or who approaches me, right? Your CV should be max 1 or max 2 pages, right? Anything beyond that is a complete no-no. At this time where our attention spans are very less, a one pager is the best thing you can give, right? Nobody reads much in terms of your detailed experience. That's something I want to hear from that particular person. So
yeah,
one pager, max two if you want to still share. But I've seen CVs which are 4 pages, 3 pages, and I
yeah,
have not like gone through that much detail. First page, what are your key skills? What is your best experience? If you have solved a problem, call out that. If you have any skill sets apart from your qualification, right? People do ask me what kind of skill sets you require. It can be related to the new age, right? You should have something. If your CV is lacking artificial intelligence topic at the moment, that is a complete filter. There are so many automation tools like Power BI, Power Automate, Alteryx is one. And this is something I'm talking from the finance perspective. This is something we all look for. We look for whether the person is expert in IFRS, if he's coming from ACCA background, CA, again, you have NDS as well, right? So a lot of things which should be there on your CV, but have it in a very concise, crisp manner. One pager does the trick. But if you're still emotional and you want to give out more details, max 2 pages, I would say.
So, as we are talking about the CV, and CV is a representation of our personality, so some other tips which you would like to add on regarding the preparation of CV?
Yep, there are so many tools which are there, Palak, at the moment, right? So artificial intelligence, you can just type out a lot of things on chat GPT, structure your CV, your resume, they call it, right? Definitely have a profile picture that actually, sometimes people have this habit of not having their CV video on during the interview if it's an online interview and stuff, right? So have a very professional picture. Objective is something I really don't read on any of the CVs. That's very generic people put in. I would strongly suggest people to have a lot of specific details for them, according to them, right? Say for example, who Paramveer is. That something should be highlighted on the CV. If I just mention a random objective code which I've taken from some other CV, that doesn't help me out, right? Who Paramveer is, right? Even in my introductions, I say I'm very passionate about innovation and automation. That's something which is really close to my heart, right? I'm an audit senior manager. I've shared my experiences on my CV as well, right? That something I've solved a problem, I've generated X number of revenue for the firm. So these are the kind of examples people look for. If you put anything generic, it's a very big red flag for say the recruiters, right? One question which often comes to me, right? How does the HR filter out the information? Again, going back to my same pointer, have one page, concise information, highlight in bold what your core skill sets, what your key information is. It's about yourself, right? Otherwise, people have only 1 or 2 minutes to read CVs, right? And for one job profile, there are so many CVs which come over, and it's very
Yeah.
easy to filter now. AI has also come into a picture, right? So if a job profile has, say, certain requirements, and if I don't find those keywords in my CV, that job that resume will automatically get filtered out as well. So um, there's one tool which I really like, which is Canva. It has a lot of template. It's not that they are paying me to say this, but Canva is one tool I really like. I've recommended that to many of the people. So that is something people can look at. There are so many good templates, one pages, very well structured, and that can really help out. And use Chat GPT and or Bard as well, right? If you just want to structure your CVs, but make
Yeah.
sure you put the relevant information. Just don't copy paste that on your resume or CV.
Yeah, that's a very valuable resource, Canva. I personally also recommend my students also, and I have also, used that in my own
Good.
post and all those things. So yes,
Right.
there are certain messages that I received from students over LinkedIn or Instagram page that, ma'am, we have applied number of jobs and we have never got any call from HR team. So, what could be the reason behind that? Because we knew that ACCA is valuable, and that is also creating some myth in their mind that, ma'am, maybe it's not valuable or it's not recognized as Indian CA. So, ma'am, we are not getting any calls. So, would you like to tell what could be the reasons?
There are multiple reasons for that, Palak, right? Number one, your CV, again, what
Yeah,
you one usually does is, right, one CV goes across for every job which is out there, right? Even if you do not check what is required in the job profile, if that's not mentioned on your CV, people will filter you out. As I said, technology is it's on a very advanced stage, right? An AI bot created for any say job profile, right? Say for example, if my job requires that somebody should be an expert in IFRS, or who should know IFRS 17 or 15, or or IFRS 9, right? If I don't find that on my CV, the bot will definitely filter me out in the first instance itself. And these are the things which are being used definitely in these times. I know a firm which is based in Bangalore as well, right? I interviewed this person, Farooq Haq. His name is, if I can disclose that. He is working a lot on AI, specifically on human resource. That's where I learned this specific thing, right? That people uh, need not assess in the first place. Now these things are being done by a bot, that, oh, if X requirement is there, is that there on a person's CV or not? If not, definitely that you're out of the race. Second, if the recruiters are also finding you out on, say, Naukri or LinkedIn, they will search for the keyword. So it's very important, wherever you're applying, your CV should have the latest keywords which are there in the market, which a requirement is there, right? LinkedIn is a very good say platform as well. Why I want to tell this, you might apply on a job portal, Palak, and everyone, right? What happens for one job? Again, there are thousands of applications which are there, right? And what happens if I message somebody on, say, LinkedIn or any recruiter, right? There are thousands of people messaging the same person at the same time, right? So probability is your messages are there, but they haven't seen it. And there can be many other reasons as well, right? There's a workaround for this, which I want to strongly suggest, which I have seen personally, which worked out for me in my first job. How people can read newspapers, right? There are so many openings which are there from the finance world, and you should not be restricted just to Big Four. Number one, there are so many other players in the market which are there, right? Or global arms are here from the industry, from the accounting world. So Big Four is there, but I think people should be more open to other roles
Yeah.
as well, right? Competition is tough, I would say. Then going back to my point, LinkedIn, approach people, network with people, right? There are so many people who approach me, and it takes just a message to hit the right note, right? Sometimes what happens, if I'm aware of some job which is there in my firm, right, or any other firm which is there, I can suggest to that person. It's very important you approach people. If you
Yeah.
think just putting a message would help, that won't work. You need to constantly, I won't say bug people, but be very
Yeah.
polite when you
Yeah.
approach as well. One trick which I really like is, people when they approach me, it's not like I try to respond to every message which comes over to me, but sometimes people might approach me with just one message that I want a job. But have you actually checked the company's profile? What kind of job
Yeah.
openings are there? If you really want to make sure that people respond to you, all you need to do is go on the company's website where you want to apply,
Yeah.
pick up a job which is suitable for you, pick up the job ID from there, have a brief introduction about yourself. That, say, for example, I'm Param Virvalku, I'm so and so. I've done my qualification. I've gone through your website. This is the job ID where I want to apply for. Can you help me
Yeah.
out, please?
Yeah.
Trust
A
me,
little bit
your
homework is mandatory.
it is mandatory, it is compulsory,
Yeah.
and think from your perspective as well. Like, if somebody approaches you, right,
Yeah.
will you help out that person? The answer might be yes. But if that person has already given you that information, right, it takes only
Yeah.
1 minute for me to refer somebody, and it technically takes only 1 minute for me to refer
Yeah.
anyone if I have the job ID handy with me. That's it. What
Yeah.
really does not work is, you come to me and say, I want a job, but I'll be like, what is your profile? I don't know
Yeah.
what qualification you've done, what role you want to apply for. That's something which it's a complete no-no for me and for anyone else as well. Same you can do with people who are very active on LinkedIn on
Yeah.
as well. It can be HRs, it can be people who post jobs. And it's not that's something we are doing this for free, number one, right? I'll be very honest and open
Yeah.
about this. There is referral bonus attached with
Yeah.
each and every profile. Which opens out, right? So it's not that something I won't get in return. I'm very open on this particular topic, right?
Yeah.
Say I know somebody, if that person gets selected after, say, 3 or 6 months, I get my referral bonus. I'm very happy in that. That's why I'm very active on as well on LinkedIn. And that is one reason. Second reason is, I have a personal goal as well of at least securing
Yeah.
5 jobs every year. That is my bare minimum goal, that I need to help 5 people within a year anyhow,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And the volume which I get, I usually meet that target very easily, right? And it's very easy. I can refer in my company. I have a lot of network, and people have these as well, right? And you just approach people, hit the right note, and you might land up on a job. It's not easy. I would say that people, it takes time for people to respond as well, but you need to be very consistent, be polite,
Yeah.
do your homework, and
Yeah.
make the other person life easy, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Homework is mandatory. Consider that person's situation in mind, that yes, that person need to, put extra effort. And you being a senior manager, you must be doing a number of tasks. So that's essential for everyone to at least consider that person's situation in mind. We have our professional obligation, personal life, so many things. So,
Exactly.
last but not the least, we all know that you have been the part of Big Fours from, I guess, 7 to 8 years now. And how being an ACCA member and working with Big Four have contributed to your growth in India as well as in abroad?
So ACCA, the qualification itself is pretty different, Palak, right? It's very up to date, I would say.
Yeah,
It doesn't work on the principle that you mug up something and you give your papers. It's very
yeah,
practical. It's very, you need to have the skeptical mindset that okay, if you, how you
yeah,
need to respond to these studies. So that really develops your mind in a very different manner. There are so many exams we need to give in ACCA, right? By the time you finish the qualification, you know majority of the things, and you change as a person
yeah,
as well. I've always felt, I remember my days before I started my ACC, and then when I completed, I was on a different zone altogether. Big Four experience again has been excellent. It's very learning. Every day I learn something new. It's I won't say it's challenging, but it's very learning. Day by day, I gain new skills. Every year, I have a goal that I learn something new in terms of how I can enhance my personal
yeah,
profile, and that's what I've been doing year on year. If you stay stagnant, again, for people who complete their professional qualification, it's not like it's end of the road, right? You need not
yeah,
study or anything. Actually, it's the opposite. Once you're done with the qualification, you need to be really up to date with latest IFRS standards, what's going on, and you're also not there in that classroom environment altogether, right? So you
yeah,
need to make sure you do your learnings. I do personally a lot of courses as well online, right? Which can help me. The latest one I'm doing is on artificial intelligence, which I know will be the next big thing. So how I can create something meaningful in my profile. That's something what I've learned from ACCA and Big Four as well. If I'm not up to date, again, I can't think that I'll be able to survive in the next few years. So both ACCA and Big Four has really helped me out in grooming myself in a much better manner.
so so I guess my all questions are done. So any advice, anything you would like to add for our ACCA students and future ACCA aspirants?
Yep. From my experience, I can just tell you that do not give up at any given point of time. Failures are a part of our say journey. I would say, right. I have flunked in my papers as well during my ACCA, but that really taught me something that okay, you need to
Yeah,
be very persistent, and that kind of attitude, that something has built. It's naturally inbuilt now that you do not give up at any
yeah,
given point of time. You're doing your ACCA, you're doing your CPA or any other qualification per se, right? If you start it, make sure you finish it in a very reasonable amount of time. This new age, again, it's very difficult to focus. Number one, because of the
yeah,
attention spans.
yeah,
So that's something I personally I'm really worried about people who are say doing the qualification, and getting distracted by a lot of unwanted things on say social media. It can be anything, right? So what I suggest people who are say my team members or people who are associated with me, right? For some time, at least you have to give up on a few things, right? You have to make certain sacrifices. It's
yeah,
not like everything you will get in one go. until and unless you go through this cycle, you go through this drill properly in a very structured manner, you can't be successful. So sacrifices are a part.
Yeah.
People show a different life on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, right? That's not the reality. I would say I've seen people leaving the qualification, getting into trading and stuff, but seeing these, and this is a
Yeah.
very recent example as well, right? But when you actually find out the reality, it's
Yeah.
pretty different. So sacrifices, hard work, persistence, and definitely stay committed to the qualification, and do not think that you won't get out anything out of this. So once you're done with the qualification, the the sky is the limit. I can say, right? There's something or the other for everyone who's a professionally qualified person.
Yeah. So, guys, I hope you get your information. And in case you have some other queries, you can message us, comment us, and we will surely help you out regarding ACCA, its job opportunities, education related queries. So thank you so much, Param, for your time. So thank you. You have given enough information, and students have get help from you. From I can thank you because I have seen your videos. I have been following you, and your videos are very helpful. So I thought to get you on board and invite you for this session. And thanks for your valuable time. Guys, I am sharing the link to follow Param profile. You can check his profile and you will get a lot of videos. They are very useful and he helps everyone personally. So, guys, don't forget to follow his page and LinkedIn profile also. So, thank you, Param. Thank you so much.